So overall, I suppose 3 points is 3 points. How happy are you with the performance?
Yeah, listen, the 3 points is 3 points. I'll take another 33 of them this season. It wasn't great. I didn't think we were good tonight. I thought UCD, especially second half, were far better. But that performance showed us that there's the other side. It answered another question, which was a good check when things aren't going well and we're not playing as well as we can be. I thought we defended really well. Dealt with a lot of crosses, tackles, blocks, balls into the box, and Brad's made a couple of saves. One with his foot, I think, and the big one at the end. Then when the player goes in on goal and he answers that as well. So performance-wise, from an attacking point of view and with the ball, not great. Without the ball was really good. And listen, it gets us 3 points.
Yeah, it's 7 points from 3 games. You got to be happy with that start, I guess.
We do, yeah. I think if we look at pre-season, we conceded a good few goals against Galway and then against Pats and against Shells, and we played Premier Division clubs as a very, very young group and a new group, because it was important to learn what we want to do off the ball first rather than in possession. We'll have plenty of goals and plenty of chances created in games as the season goes on, but we wanted to have that base of understanding what to do without possession. So I think that's why pre-season was very good for us, and I think if you take away the mistake up in Finn Harps, it's 2 clean sheets in 3 games and 1 goal conceded, so that's the really pleasing thing.
A couple of positives to take from tonight, I suppose. The goal was a spectacular header from Keane, but the delivery from Jack was exceptional.
Yeah, I think the delivery that Jack and Sean has from dead balls, and a few others in the squad as well, I think it's definitely a threat for us. We can attack areas and we can work on certain areas to attack where the delivery can be pinpoint, and Keane's got a great leap tonight, and he puts it in, and that's the difference of going away with a draw and 5 from 9 or a win and 7 from 9, and that's really important as well. Like, they attack the ball really well and go both boxes, and it's a massive part of the game.
And a fit Greg Bodger as well, what an asset to have.
Yeah, and again, that's what we're looking at. Greg was obviously missing the first couple of games. It was good to get him on the pitch tonight. So again, that'll be him reintroduced now to the squad for next week. You've got Bagsy, who's not far off. You've got Derek Crowley, who's not far off, and Murph as well. Malik's a few weeks probably beyond them with his hamstring, but again, we're getting very close to having a fully fit squad. Young Matty Kiernan got a dead calf against Kerry when he was excellent, and we're looking, hopefully he'll be available next week as well, and all of a sudden now we're going to have a full squad more or less to pick from, and that's really important as well to get through that little period of maybe 4 or 5 injuries that could be starters.
Just lastly for me, Barry Coffey sending off, what was your view on it?
Yeah, listen, I've watched it back and I've had a chat with the referee there. I can see why it's given, and in fairness to the referee, Barry's just tried to stop the counter attack by clipping his heels, and he's actually missed his foot initially and then he stood on his heel.
The referee made that kind of dumb
yeah,
gesture.
it wasn't
malicious.
No, he tried to clip his heel just to stop the attack, and he's actually missed him initially, and then when he planted his foot, he's landed on his heel. So listen, I can see why it's given, but it certainly wasn't no malicious intent or endangerment to the player. So but listen, we'll take that one and we'll go on next week.
Thanks, Tim.
Jimmy made a great start, and probably could have been more ahead at half time, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think Jack had a couple of chances. We had a decent enough start, but again, as the game went on, I think we're still listen, it's very, very early in the season for us. We're still a very, very new team. There's very few players, if any, from last season. It's Keane Coleman tonight. I think in my own head, is there anyone else that started the game? I don't think so. Barry Coffey, sorry, as well. And that's it. So you've 9 sort of new faces and new players there. And it's gonna take a while to get us in full gear, up to speed. But again, these are the games that are so important. UCD are a good side. It was very hard to analyse them the first 2 games because they were down to 10 men for 70 minutes against Bray and dug out a win, and they sat in deep, and naturally enough because they were down to 10 men. And then last week they lost the Treaty at home after the Collingwood Cup, where the Treaty game was their 4th game in 5 days, so they were low on energy. So it was very hard to see exactly analyse them at their best. And I think tonight you could see in a lot of spells, especially in the second half, that they're very fit, they're willing runners, they're good on the ball, and they play good football, and they're going to cause a lot of trouble. So I think the longer the season goes on, this win will certainly look better on paper.
Yeah, you lost your kind of threat in the second half and lost your kind of weight a bit. Like, can you put your finger on that where you
No,
kind
I
of pulling
think
the second half?
when you go ahead and you're 1-0 up, I think you're naturally going to probably protect the lead, as opposed to leaving yourself open. They are quite dangerous on transitions when they win the ball back. They've got a lot of legs. So, and again, I do think probably energy wise, I think Harry was out on his feet at the last bit of the game. John O'Donovan as well was similar on the other side of the pitch, and I think Nathan was quite enough. But again, you're asking lads like Cahill and Nathan wide areas to try and get at players and run at them, and the surface is quite slippy and bobbly at the minute, and it's difficult to do that. So the other side of the game is you have to dig in and just make sure that you protect that lead, and I think we've done that quite well.
Yeah, 7 points from 3 games is a decent start, obviously, Tim. But is it fair to say you haven't had a complete performance yet in any of the 3 games, maybe?
No, and listen, I'll take no complete performance at the end of the season if we keep winning games. That's the be all and end all. If we come in here tonight and we've got the complete performance but lose 2-0, and we think great performances are brilliant, and you lose the game, it's irrelevant. Results is all that matters in football, and if you can do that, like tonight, that feels for us tonight, that feels a lot better than any game we'll go and win maybe 4 or 5-0 this year. If we have games like that where everything works brilliant, it's games like that tonight where you have to dig in, and you've Keane Coleman there defending the box, getting blocks in, making tackles, protecting the keeper, winning headers, and it's him the far end of the pitch as well that puts the ball in the net that wins us the game. So them performances you can take just as much out of as the ones that are, as you say, more complete.
Having said that though, there's room for improvement there. That's plain to see. Like,
of course there is, yeah, there's room for improvement, but again, as I said, we're 3 games into a new group, a young group as well, and I'm not going to criticise the pitch because there's the weather is horrific, and the fact that we have it on tonight compared to other teams that are getting cancelled shows the work the ground staff are doing here. But it is cutting up quite easy. I don't think the Cove games helped, and probably the one getting changed to Finn Harps in a couple of weeks might give the pitch a little bit of a breather. So that's really pleasing now that the pitches will obviously improve and firm up, and I think that will help a lot of our ball carriers, especially the wide players and lads like Jack as well.
yeah, another plus, I suppose, Tim, is just 1 goal against in 3, which is a good return, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and especially the goal we conceded then was an individual error by Muzz, which again has possibly got to do with the pitch as well. Finn Harps was very heavy, and it got stuck under his feet as he went to go back to Brad. So again, one goal conceded in 3 games and 2 clean sheets. It's a good return, and 7 from 9 isn't the worst start on paper.
And just the last one for me, Tim, like Barry Coffey, obviously he's not that type of player. He was just a bit unlucky, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, he tried to stop a counter attack, which I think every player in football would have done the same. When you're 1-0 up and a lad breaks in the middle of the pitch, he's tried to clip his heel, and he's actually missed it initially, and then as both of them feet land on the ground, he lands in the back of his heel. So yeah, it's not ideal, but listen, these things happen. You've got to adjust and get on with it.
Just that.
Cheers, Rob.
Just one on the kind of couple of positional tweaks in attack from the last game against Kerry. I think Nathan, Evan, Jack and Sean all kind of switched. What was the thinking behind that?
Listen, I thought that with Evan was sort of playing out of position on the left, with Malik getting injured. He's not a player that plays on the left side of the pitch, but Nathan was up through the middle, and Jack was obviously in the 10, and we wanted sort of more of a balanced attacking threat with Nathan on the left who can play there, Cahill on the right, and then Jack up top, and obviously we had Barry and Muzz and Evan sort of played as the advanced one at different stages in the game today. Sean Murray's he's had a lot of goals from his career from the attacking midfield area, and he gets into the box really well, but we didn't really get into the positions tonight to capitalise on that, so we made a tweak to put Barry there for more legs at the end of the first half and start the second half, and then obviously when we tweaked it again, we put Evan ahead and just to play off Jack for legs as well. So